At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
Is Beck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Beck and Adam Abdalla.
Welcome in to Beck and Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, SiriusXM, Channel 375, and all of our great radio affiliates around the country. I'm Chris Beck, along with Adam Abdalla, broadcasting live from downtown Chicago each and every day on the air until 3 Eastern, hanging out with you. If you want to join the show today, you can call or text us at 310-840-4910. Let's start with this today, Abdalla. Last night, the San Antonio Spurs put it on the Minnesota Timberwolves. They win at home, Game 5, 126-97. Victor Wembanyama was fantastic once again. He is ejected of Game 4 early, second quarter. No suspension. He shows up. He's ready to ball. He was fantastic last night for the Spurs.
Absolutely. And I think it's obvious right now that Victor Wembanyama is one of the best players in the NBA. And when he's on the court for the Spurs, if he would have been on the court for the entire game of Game 4, this would have been it. Yeah. This would have been the game.
Yeah, I think so.
This would have been the end of the Minnesota Timberwolves. This is probably ending in the next game unless they can get a game here for Minnesota. I don't think this goes 7, but you never know. Minnesota is gritty. Minnesota likes to grind out everything. They've been able to win. So I think that right now it's obvious that this is going to be the Spurs against the Oklahoma City Thunder. And I think that for the foreseeable future, it is going to be the Spurs and the Oklahoma City Thunder as battling back and forth in the West. And I think that you're going to see from now on, as young as Victor Wembanyama is, as a 22-year-old playing in the NBA, as long as he can stay healthy, because given his size and the way that he plays, and listen, big guys always have health issues. Like, it's just something you have to take into account.
Seems like it.
Right? This could be the next guy. And I'm saying this to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Get yours now. Get your championship now. Because if he can stay healthy, and if the Spurs can continue to build around him the way that they have, because we saw it in the regular season, he didn't have to play a lot. He wasn't playing a full complement of minutes in the regular season. They were being very sparingly with him in the regular season. This could be the next guy in the NBA that keeps people from winning championships because of how good he is.
Yeah, I think that that's one way to look at it. And if you want to join the show today, you can always do that at 310-840-4910. I would also look at it from this perspective. When I say this, here on the show, on Fridays, we bring Raj into the mix and we play fill in the blank. So if I were to ask you a fill in the blank, Wembanyama has the highest approval rating in NBA history since. Who are you filling in the blank with? Who's the name? Because I think along those lines, you're talking about specifically wins and losses on the court. And I agree with you. It does feel very much like Wembanyama is going to rule the league for a decade, at least. And like, that's what I hate about doing or having conversations like this, right? Like, last night was great. He's playing well. I am excited to see the future. But we're not there yet. So, like, I don't need the put Wembanyama in the category of greatest players ever yet.
No.
I don't need to have he's the biggest, he's the best big man that I've ever seen category. Like, we don't need that. We don't need bold proclamations today. Like, because it will happen, right? Like, one of two things are going to happen. I think it's very clear to me when you look at the trajectory that Wembanyama's career is on. One, it's either he's going to fall short of the expectations based on injuries, or he's going to accomplish a hell of a lot of stuff in the NBA.
Yeah.
And he's going to be in the conversation with the all-time greats because he's won multiple titles. He's won multiple MVPs. He's done this. He's done that. He's been an all-star for 15 years. Like one of two things is going to happen. Like, I don't think there's a middle point where Wembanyama is this good so early at 22 and he's not going to get a title, or he's not going to be MVP someday, or he's not going to win multiple Defensive Players of the Year awards. Like, what's going to happen, it's either he's going to live up to the expectation or he won't based on injuries. Like, that's it. Like, I don't think there's going to be a ho-hum career of Wemby just being a good Spur for 12 seasons, and they just, as far as they get to is maybe they get to one finals and they never win. Like, that's not the case here. It's pretty obvious. So then, Adam, when we kind of look at how basketball fans and how sports fans view this current landscape of the NBA, what did we just walk off of? We just walked out of a regular season where every person just complained about everything about the NBA. The players don't try. The teams aren't trying. There's tanking. There's rest. There's all this stuff. In-season tournament. All this stuff to why people don't like the NBA. You know what the people, sports fans like? They like Wemby. Mm-hmm. And it's very obvious. And we talked about this the other day that when NBC was picking their spots for the first-round games that the number one crew for NBC would be at, it was Tirico and Reggie Miller at all the Spurs games in the first round. It wasn't the best first-round matchup. Spurs Blazers wasn't a great matchup in the first round. There were other big matchups, other big cities involved, but the TV network, NBC, they wanted Wemby.
Yeah.
And so I think that's where, when I ask the question, you can text the show at 310-840-4910. Wembanyama has the best approval rating from sports fans in the NBA since who? Who are you answering with that?
I'm going to say, because I'm not going to go as far back as like I'm not putting him into the Jordan category yet. Like, that's insane to do right now.
Well, I would say this.
I'm going to say Steph. I'm going to say Steph Curry. Because to me, Steph and the Warriors eventually took a heel turn once they added Durant. They eventually took that, we're going to add the stars, because they all came up together. Steph and Draymond and Clay all came up together. So it wasn't a let's put stars together and ring chase together. All of those guys came up as a team together. And Steph was a guy that changed the NBA and the way kids play and the way that the NBA and he and Clay and everybody kind of changed the game and the way that the NBA is kind of played these days with the amount of threes the teams shoot and everything like that. And I'm not saying that Victor Wembanyama is going to change the way the game is played or anything like that, but the general approval of everyone's favorite player, and just look at the way youth gravitates towards fun players. Steph is a fun player. He's a likable player. And I think he has the highest approval rating of a player. And I think that Wembanyama is going to get into that category of the highest approval rating since Steph Curry. I think that every player that you can kind of think of has some form of demerit that you can put on their record. Like, if you can say, okay, Kevin Durant's a great player. Yeah, he's got Twitter fingers, though. You know what I mean? Like, he's got the burners, and he's got, he can be a little agitated every once in a while.
Yeah, I don't think people like Durant that way.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like Harden always fizzles out in the playoffs, and, he goes from team to team to team to team. Like, there's always something about every single player that you can kind of find something that you don't like. With Steph, there's really nothing to dislike about Steph Curry. And so I'm going to say Steph. Everybody likes Steph Curry. So to me, he's going to be the most likable and have the highest rating since Steph Curry.
Yeah, I mean, Steph Curry is definitely a name that jumps out to me when we talk about this. I think there is a difference, though, that Steph Curry, it took some time. Now, he was a darling in the NCAA tournament with Davidson, but I don't think anyone thought he was going to become who he became with the Warriors. That wasn't on the table.
No.
To become the greatest outside shooter of all time and change the sport is not something I don't think anyone saw. And with that said, I think that's what's different about Wemby. Steph Curry's approval rating was high, but it was in correlation with the wins and the Warriors kind of taking the league by storm. Wembanyama's 22. He hasn't accomplished anything. This was the first good season for the Spurs with Wemby playing the majority of the season. right? Like, this is ground level stuff where every sports fan is in agreement that this is the guy we want to watch. This is the guy that we want to carry the mantle. This is the guy that we want to see in the future. Quite honestly, I think many in the NBA hope he's the guy that takes out the Thunder, because I think the Thunder have missed that. The Thunder are not a team that people like or enjoy watching. I think there's a lot to the Thunder that it turns people off.
Which is funny because they've won one championship.
Right, they've won a championship. They've been the best team this season.
It's one championship.
They might win another championship, but it does feel like people are hoping that Wemby and the Spurs can kind of snuff out a dynasty here
Can
with the Thunder.
dethrone them quickly. Yeah.
Like, just don't let them get hold of the NBA for 3 to 4 seasons as the title bearer. Like, I think that is something that's quietly out there that people are hoping for, and why there's so much intrigue with Wembanyama. And so, okay, so you say Steph Curry. I think some of the other names that come to mind, right? Like Tim Duncan, I don't think anyone necessarily didn't like, but I also don't know if he was someone that, like, as you mentioned, kids were excited to go see Tim Duncan play with the Spurs. You know, Dirk Nowitzki had a pretty high approval rating. I don't know anyone that didn't like Dirk Nowitzki.
Yeah.
I would say the same would go with Kobe Bryant. You know, Kobe Bryant is certainly, and he still resonates with many basketball fans. And I would say, you know, it's what's weird is the Michael Jordan thing that you mentioned. Like, I'm not going to mention Michael. Like, there are fans in this country that didn't like Jordan and the Bulls.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, if you're a Knicks fan,
talk to anyone in New York.
You didn't like Jordan and the Bulls.
Of course.
If you're from Cleveland, you didn't like Jordan and the Bulls.
Yeah.
If you're from Detroit, you didn't like Jordan. So I can understand Jordan's approval rating being a little bit lower than someone like Steph Curry, because it does feel cute and fuzzy. Like the Steph Curry thing doesn't feel as like there's as much aggression, where like the Jordan thing was, he wanted to rip your soul out.
Oh, yeah.
So like it's different. And I think when you have the Jordan conversation and then you bring up LeBron James, I think that's where they are comparable. They are two of the greats all time in league history. But there are people who don't like LeBron James.
Yeah.
I'll be one of them. I will respect his game. I find him annoying.
Yeah,
I find the personality. I find the shtick. I find his whole trying to have the perfect calibration of every element of everything you see from him. It's not authentic, and it bothers me.
Yeah, he's Taylor Swift.
And that's a hell of a comparison.
He's Taylor Swift. I respect her musically. She's an insanely talented musician. But everything she does and puts out is insanely calculated.
Yep.
Everything, every move that she makes, and every tweet, and every post, and everything, every move that she makes is pre-planned and predetermined. Every move,
every relationship,
everything
with both friends or people that she's dating.
But
right, like it's all choreographed. The whole thing.
Game recognized game though. She's an extremely talented musician. Extremely talented.
Yeah.
I have another comparison the other way.
Okay.
Now, you said two paths. The other path is riddled with injury. The other path is taking the league by storm. The other path is this is going to be the next guy and going to take over the league and going to take the mantle as the next guy, the next generation.
Yeah.
But we just never saw it because could never, ever play because of injury. And it's only 5 years ago. It's Zion Williamson. Zion Williamson is a guy that everybody loved to watch at Duke. Think of a player. Yeah. Think of a player that people loved to watch at Duke.
Can't miss guy.
People loved a player at Duke. He took away the hated Duke mantra.
You're right. He was like the guy that was like, all right, I'm kind of in. I kind of like this.
Imagine not hating a Duke player.
Move to the side, Coach K. No, it's my court.
No.
I'm Coach K.
It was Zion.
I'm Duke. I'm Zion.
Everybody was so excited for him to come into the league.
I'm Duke.
And he just couldn't stay healthy.
Well, he's got too many
And couldn't stay.
OF models.
Yeah, and
right?
couldn't stay in shape. And that's the generally just loved. Everybody wanted to see this guy become a literal monster from Space Jam and take over the league. And he just couldn't do it, but he was generally loved. Like, everybody wanted Zion to succeed and be that guy, but he just couldn't do it and couldn't stay healthy and couldn't stay in shape and it tries and tries and tries and just can't do it. And every year, new me. Like, he's the epitome of new year, new me, and just can't do it. And so I'm hoping that that's not the trajectory that Wemby goes down. But that's the opposite, right? That's the other way.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose. I mean, wouldn't you say that that's injuries?
Oh,
for
yeah,
the most part,
of course.
And that would be the side for Wemby that would be the worry?
Exactly. That's the fork in the road. The one way is Steph. The other way is Zion.
I saw this last night. Miles Brown on Twitter?
Yeah.
So I'm watching the game, right? And the Spurs are just, dominating the entire game. 126-97, and it wasn't close in the fourth. And what was obvious is the Spurs defense and their plan to get the ball out of Anthony Edwards' hands with double teams. Mm-hmm. It's just, he can't function. And the one play where Anthony Edwards is on the ground trying to scrap for a loose ball and just kind of like pushed it. And it was like, it led to a Spurs fast break dunk. It was like, what are you doing, dude? Yeah. Like for a guy that's as talented as Anthony Edwards, to be that like kind of miffed and the inability to just like figure out what the Spurs were doing to him and just throw a double team at him at every opportunity, and then not being able to have the offense swing the ball to the open man and take advantage of that situation by the Spurs. So I saw the two. I got to call this out because it's funny because you mentioned Zion and I mentioned his love for the models.
Yeah.
He's very distracted sometimes.
We don't kink shame
with Zion.
Here. We don't shame here.
Miles Brown, because it's on the record that Anthony Edwards is a...
He's in the streets.
Well, he's
on the internet.
He's a fan of sex.
Hey, yo, whoa. We don't shame here.
I'm not shaming.
We don't shame. There's nothing illegal about that.
I didn't say there was anything illegal. I'm just saying, like,
where in the world is Zion Williamson?
He has no shame.
Large male.
It's out there. He has no shame,
yeah.
right? Miles Brown tweeted, "You would think a guy who's addicted to that would know how to handle a double team better." Hey, come on. I mean, what are we doing here? I thought that was great. I thought that was hilarious. Yeah, thank you. That's on loan from the Drake Toll show, the bonk, which means Curtis is still hanging around.
Still lurking in the shadows.
So if you listen to the network in the morning, Curtis is still lurking somewhere in the studio.
With a bonk.
There he is, with his bonk, the bonk master. It's Black Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. So fill in that blank. You can call or text the show, 310-840-4910. Victor Wembanyama has the highest approval rating in the NBA since... Fill in that name. Who do you have? Abdalla says Steph Curry. I threw out a couple like Kobe Bryant, Dirk Nowitzki. I don't think Jordan and LeBron fit that conversation. No. I think too many people wanted to see them fail to say that they have the highest approval rating. So fill in that blank for us here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. We have the international schedule in the NFL. More news trickling out with the schedule release. We'll tell you the latest coming up next.
Tomorrow night, it's a Westwood One special presentation. NFL Schedule Release 26. Hosted by Scott Graham and Mike Golick. What's your team's toughest stretch and where are the wins? We'll tell you tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern on Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
is Beck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Beck and Adam Abdalla.
We're talking about the approval rating for Victor Wembanyama. It feels like he's at an all-time high. And so fill in the blank. Who's the player you think of who's had the highest NBA approval rating? Who's that guy? Who's the name that you put in there? Wembanyama has the highest approval rating since in league history. Fill in the blank. Some of the options on the text line, which you can text us at 310-840-4910. The 616 says Giannis, his approval rating is as high as anyone. All right. I would say, it's one of the all-time stories. They made it into a movie, which is a great story. A kid from Greece that had nothing, who gets to the United States, drafted in the NBA, becomes an MVP, wins a championship. That's great. I do think in the last year or so, Giannis's approval rating has taken a step back.
Yeah.
His whole fake nice guy thing that he's not trying to force his way out of Milwaukee, it's all BS.
Yeah. Brian Scalabrine.
Scal? You think Scal is your guy?
Everybody loves Scal.
That's true. Everyone does love Scal.
Here, I can name the last guy on the bench for every team, and everybody loves that guy.
Oh yeah,
everybody has that guy on the team that everybody loves.
Last guy on the bench is great.
Everybody loves that guy.
From the 229, Jalen Brunson. He's beloved by anyone coming out of nowhere. Because, I would say this: he's not coming out of nowhere. His father played in the NBA. Yeah. And his father's a coach in the NBA. And he went to Villanova, and he won championships at Nova. I will say.
Go talk to anybody from Boston. They don't like Jalen Brunson.
I think Brunson's pretty close. Jalen Brunson has a pretty good approval rating. I mean, the kid's awesome. He's won at every level. He's won when he's been told he can't be the guy. He then becomes the guy. Like Mavericks, what are you doing? You had Luka and Jalen Brunson.
Insane.
And you didn't think that Jalen Brunson could be the guy, so you let him walk.
Insane.
So, okay, that's a pretty good one. I like that. Jalen Brunson, that's pretty good. Wembanyama's higher than both.
Yeah, I think so too.
So tomorrow we will get the NFL schedule released. The full schedule will be released tomorrow. Yep. And as I call it here on the show this week, this is NFL schedule drip drop week.
Trickle week.
Yeah, you got a little drip drop and little trickles of information being released and announced from the different streaming partners and broadcast partners for the NFL. Mm-hmm. So yesterday and into today, we now have the full official international schedule for the NFL season. That's right. We are going international.
All right,
here we go. Are there any of these games that catch your eye? We know that 49ers Rams will be played in Australia to start the season. Week 3 has a game in Brazil, Rio de Janeiro.
Brazil.
We have the Ravens and the Cowboys taking place in week 3. Weeks 4 through 6, you will get 3 games in London. That'll be the Colts and the Commanders. You'll have the Eagles and the Jags, and then the Texans and the Jags. The Jags will stay there for 2 weeks and host both of those games.
When are they just going to stay there? Like permanently?
I'm guessing within the next 10 years, we will have the Jacksonville, London Jaguars.
When are they just going to be the Jaguars?
Jaguars.
When are we just going to call them the Jaguars?
So they're going to play back-to-back games, which they've done that before, and they're going to stay there in London. 2 of those games are taking place at Tottenham Stadium, and then one of the games will be at Wembley.
Do they still take place at Tottenham if Tottenham's relegated?
Yes, I believe that's going to be the main attraction there for Spurs fans.
That's a deep cut
next year. So
for
shout
Socceroos.
out to our friends who are Tottenham Hotspur fans who are on the edge. They're on the. It goes for both because I think the team they're battling for relegation it's West Ham.
Ooh!
And doesn't West Ham play at Wembley?
I believe so. Yeah.
Or they play in the big stadium, the big huge stadium that they've used for the Olympics in London. Okay, so back to the NFL, right? We're not here to talk soccer, Abdalla.
No. Yes, you're right. Trickle drip drop week.
Yeah, trickle drip drop week. Paris will have a game. That will be week 7. The Steelers and the Saints will face off. Madrid, Spain. That will be week 9. You have the Bengals and the Falcons. The NFL then heads to Germany, Munich. That will be in week 10. The Patriots and the Lions. That's a good game.
Sorry.
It's a good game. And then we finish the international portion of the NFL schedule. Week 11, Mexico City. The Vikings will face off against the 49ers. So there you go. There's your international schedule officially released. Boom. We have it. It trickled out. A little drip drop. And there you go. There we have here on Trickle Drip Drop Week.
That sounds. I don't know why that sounds dirty, but it just does.
It sounded wet.
Remember, the full schedule comes out on Thursday, and if you have any trickle after Thursday evening, please consult a doctor. And if you're allergic to Skyrizi, do not take Skyrizi.
I don't think that's what they say, is it?
It is. It's literally in the commercial. In the commercial for Skyrizi, they say if you're allergic to Skyrizi, do not take Skyrizi.
That's the one that has the good song in it, right?
Nothing is everything. Yeah.
Nothing is everything.
That's and if you're allergic to Skyrizi, don't take Skyrizi. And it's like, you think? How do you find out? How do you find out if you're allergic to Skyrizi? You got to take it first.
I usually see that before 60 Minutes comes on the air.
You would.
Right? Yeah. Also, a reminder, because Thursday, the full schedule will be released. Thursday night, 8 Eastern, Westwood One Sports has a special presentation. The NFL Schedule Release 26, hosted by Scott Graham and Mike Golick, will announce and break down the schedule, including primetime, international, and holiday games. Super Bowl champion Seahawks defensive lineman Leonard Williams will join the show. That's Thursday, 8 Eastern, right here on Westwood One Sports.
Now. Okay.
Exactly. And first of all, hold on. That song bops.
It does bop a little bit.
Laura, play it again. It bops. That song bops.
You plan to or recently received a vaccine?
No, not the ad.
Don't take Skyrizi if you're allergic to Skyrizi, and see a doctor if your drip drop continues after Thursday. Okay, now, here's what I know.
What do you know?
Most cities, a lot of cities, have sister cities. Okay?
Yeah.
A lot of have sister cities in other locations,
Sure.
right? Our sister city is blank. Our sister city is this. If the Blecks had a sister city, it would be...
Me and my wife?
My wife.
My wife.
If you and your wife had a sister city...
We had a sister city.
It would be...
In our city. We live in Chicago.
It would be Paris.
Oh, en français, s'il vous plaît.
It would be Paris.
Oui, oui.
Oui, oui. It
Bonjour.
would be Paris.
Salut.
I, for the life of me, do not understand why the NFL is going to Paris. And do not understand. I understand sending New Orleans. I understand sending the Saints 100%. The Pittsburgh Steelers?
That doesn't scream baguette?
Of all the fans.
In French fashion?
Of all the fans. We were in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
For the NFL draft.
Yeah.
We hung out with all the Yinzers.
Good people.
Great people.
Great American city.
Hard-working Americans.
Great American city.
Love them all.
Yeah.
They don't scream Pittsburgh, or they don't scream Paris.
No, I don't think they're going to be at the Christian Dior museum.
No?
No, I don't think
so?
I don't think that's going to be the play there.
They don't seem like a wine and cheese crowd.
They're going to get a rezzo at Avenue.
I don't think they like
I don't think that's the case.
I mean, listen, you get the baguettes, maybe.
Okay, so what's funny about that thought that you have and the expansion of the NFL into the globe, so a couple years ago, the family, we booked a trip and we were in Europe in September during the football season, during the NFL season. And what I noticed that was very obvious is in two locations over there, and we went to various places, in Spain and in France and Italy, and right, like it was a great trip, awesome trip. But we were there for 2 full NFL weekends, and what I noticed very early on in Paris was that you didn't see any gear from any NFL team whatsoever.
No,
you know what you do see in Paris?
No, thank you.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere in Paris, it's NBA stuff.
Yeah.
And this was before Wembanyama was selected by the Spurs.
Well, you had Gobert.
You had the Nicolas Batum.
Okay.
Is a great Tony Parker.
Yes.
Great Frenchman, right? Like the French invasion of the NBA.
They love their basketball.
But like when you're walking the streets, you will see Kobe Bryant gear. You will see Bulls gear. You will see all kinds of New York Knicks stuff.
Oui, oui.
You see NBA apparel everywhere in France.
Oui, oui.
You did not see NFL stuff.
We do not like.
The other place, if you notice on the schedule, the NFL is going to London, and so they're going to England and France and Spain and Germany. What's the other major country over there that they are not traveling to? And I can tell you why.
Where?
Italy.
Oh, well, no. Listen.
They 100% do not care about the NFL.
Not yet.
They do not care.
They will.
Like here's the thing. When I don't know, man. When they have 18 of these on the schedule, they will. No, but here's my point. The people there don't care. When I was in Spain and there was an NFL weekend taking place, you could walk down the street and find a bar that was showing NFL games.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same way here in the States. If you're someone that's a soccer fan, you know, during the day, those are when the night games are being played, right?
Yeah.
So, like, you have to, like, the times of the games are weird. So it's not, like, in competition with the stuff that they're caring about soccer there.
Yeah.
So when I was walking around in Barcelona, like, you could watch NFL games places.
Yeah.
You could. And it was available. Mm-hmm. In Italy, when we were there during NFL weekends, nothing. Zero. They don't care at all.
No.
So that's why I think it's funny. They're going everywhere in Europe except Italy because
they have to.
I don't think Italy
they will have to
support it.
The goal, Roger Goodell has said, the goal is to have an international game every weekend.
Well, I think
there's only so many places.
I think the better or the larger goal is to have a division that's in Europe. 4 teams, right?
Can you imagine?
Look at the map of the international teams that they have there.
Yeah.
You could put a team in London,
yeah,
a team in Paris,
no,
a team in Madrid,
no,
and a team in Munich.
No.
There you go. There's your 4-team division.
There's no way they
you got
collectively
England,
bargain that.
France, Spain, Germany.
There's no way they collectively bargain that. There's no way the players go for that.
Well, I mean, what's the difference between Seattle flying from the greater Northwest to Miami? Or a team on the East Coast flying to Europe. It's the same flight.
The 49ers
it's a 6-hour flight.
Flying 38,000 miles this year.
Oh, and they're not happy about it.
They have to fly. They have to play in Melbourne. They have to play in Mexico City. They have to fly to Atlanta and to New York. That's insane.
And they're not happy. Take a listen to Kyle Shanahan on having to play in Australia.
You ready, Laura?
So fired up. That was our goal to go 19 hours away to play a game. So I think we're going back in time or into the future. I think we gain a day or lose a day. I'm not sure which one yet, but it is what it is. We'll deal with it. And I think there's 8 international games. We got 2 of them, so we're fired up about that.
And then also Shanahan talked about on if there's any pros to playing down under in Australia.
No, not at all. I don't see any pro. I mean, it's cool for the league. It's cool. Yeah, it's cool for the league, like globally. I think it's awesome. But as far as the team doing it, you know, it's no, there's not much benefit to it. Sometimes it's nice to get a bye week after, but it doesn't have any week long.
So the 49ers are sent down under to start the season, and then they're also sent to Mexico City. And they have the most travel by far of any team this season in the NFL.
And I told you they have to fly to Atlanta and they have to fly to New York. I'm out on the 49ers this year. They have the 3rd best odds to win their division, and they have like the 8th best odds to win, or the 5th best odds to win the NFC. I'm out on the 49ers this year. That much travel with a team that has a history of injuries, you just have to count on the injuries for the 49ers. With a division that is that tough, with the Rams and the Seahawks already in that division, having that much travel. And I realize the Rams also have like the 2nd most travel because they are also in that Australia game. They have like 34,000 miles, which is a lot of travel also. But to have that much travel, to have 2 international games and cross country to New York and Atlanta, I'm out on the 49ers this year just because of the amount of travel and the body adjustment that they're going to have to go through. That's insane. That is so much travel to go through in a single season that I just don't trust that they'll be able to accommodate it.
Yeah, the teams based on mileage that will be traveled in this upcoming season: San Francisco 1, LA Rams 2, Texans 3, Cowboys 4, Patriots 5, Dolphins 6, Chargers 7, Jags 8, Eagles 9, Seahawks 10. A couple of those in the top 10 make a lot of sense, right? Jacksonville will be over in England. The Miami and Seattle on the list in the top 10 makes sense because in my head, without looking at the actual distance, I would guess that the Dolphins and the Seahawks are the farthest away from anything else. Mm-hmm. Just based on miles to other teams in the National Football League. And I would say the same kind of goes for the Patriots. The Patriots are pretty far east. So if they have to go to the west, that's a long trip. I'm surprised that the Texans and the Cowboys, centrally located teams in Texas, are traveling so much. The teams with the least amount of travel this upcoming season, Green Bay, 28, the Buccaneers, 29, Chicago Bears at 30, the Browns at 31, and the Carolina Panthers will travel the fewest miles this upcoming season.
All right. I don't know if that means anything for them.
Well, I don't think it means anything for the teams traveling. You're trying to tell me that the Niners aren't going to be good because they're traveling on a
I don't think it matters for the
airline.
team. I don't think it means.
Come on now.
I don't think it matters for the teams traveling
doing?
a little bit, but I think it matters
Well,
for. I think it matters.
I hope you have the same heat for the Rams. When you pick the Rams to go to the Super Bowl, I'm bringing this up.
Okay, for a team that is...
Because I know you. Let's jump forward 4 months.
Okay, fine.
You're going to say the Rams, here we go. Rams, Super Bowl, all this stuff.
The Rams aren't often injured. The Rams don't have a substation next to their facility that is destroying their ACLs. The Rams don't have a majority of their team that their ACLs are dust at this point. The Rams aren't relying on one of their best players who has to go overseas to get their knees repaired every single year. Are you kidding me? That's what the 49ers have to deal with.
It's ballin' season. It is here, but a dirty car doesn't have to be. Wash it away with Tidal Wave Auto Spa for a quick wash and that clean car happy feeling. Find a location at TidalWaveAutoSpa.com. So ESPN has now published a new article about LeBron James. The season's over. We don't know what LeBron's future is going to be. And it appears as if, from this new article, that LeBron's feelings were hurt during the season. Oh, poor LeBron. We'll tell you about that coming up next.
Tomorrow night, it's a Westwood One special presentation. NFL Schedule Release 26. Hosted by Scott Graham and Mike Golick. What's your team's toughest stretch and where are the wins? We'll tell you tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern on Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Beck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Beck and Adam Abdalla.
ESPN.com has a story up right now. Los Angeles Lakers, LeBron James, the need to return to LA and why it's not that simple from Dave McMiniman. It's posted. It's got a lot of great access, quotes, and sources in the story. Essentially, the way the story starts is that it gives you a view inside the Lakers locker room after a win. So March 31st, the Lakers beat the Cavs 127-113. The victory was a game that signaled a pretty important game for many on the Lakers team, right? It was a game that made LeBron James the winningest player in NBA history. So it was win 1,229th of LeBron James' career, moving him past Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. It was also a game where Luka went past the 15,000 career point total. Rui Hachimura also went past 5,000 points scored. And J.J. Redick got his 100th win as a head coach in the NBA. Mm-hmm. So, and the reason all of those were pointed out is that in the locker room after the game, J.J. Redick gave acknowledgement to those three players and to all of that took place after that win for the Lakers on that night, right? Like it's celebratory, right? They win. Everything's great. Except you're dealing with massive ego in LeBron James, so everything was not great because Rob Pelinka, the president of basketball operations and GM of the Lakers, addressed the team with a game ball in his hands. And instead of giving said game ball to LeBron, he gave the game ball to J.J. Redick to celebrate his 100th win as a head coach. And LeBron did not like that. And in the sources of the story saying LeBron viewed that as a slight and that another example of the team trying to push him out of Los Angeles by showcasing the celebration after the post-game situation, JJ Redick, and not his most wins in NBA history moment, passing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So poor LeBron had his feelings hurt once again, and that's why this entire thing that we're talking about with the Lakers and LeBron James, it just seems like it's time to move on. Because if LeBron is having his people leak these stories to McMenamin on ESPN.com, so this is out there a day after they were eliminated, where the conversation yesterday was that Luka wants Austin Reeves back in the mix, and how are they going to build for the future? Clearly, this is a PR move by LeBron to try and get people on his side to be against the Lakers and to feel bad for LeBron. I'm not taking the bait. That's what this is.
Yeah, the story goes on to say that it's not really going to be about an amount of money. It's going to be about how the Lakers approach LeBron.
Oh, yes.
In the offseason.
How he's approached.
Well, because the story also says that if you remember
James.
a couple of years ago when this deal was signed, LeBron was willing to take less money if the Lakers were willing to bring in Klay Thompson, other players that were going to put the Lakers over the edge and create, a better team around LeBron. He's going to be a team player. So even in this time, in these negotiations, he's going to be willing to take less money as long as that money goes towards a better team and how the team approaches LeBron, like if they're willing to bend the knee or whatever analogy LeBron James wants to use with this whole thing. Because, yeah, he wants to stay. It's clear from this piece, LeBron wants to stay in LA. He wants to stay with his family. He doesn't want to have to move. Everybody hates moving. Nobody likes moving.
He wants to stay in LA, but he wants to be the guy.
Yeah, of course he does.
And he wants everyone to cater to him.
Well, because this is most likely going to be LeBron's last season. This is the way this is coming through. He is going to...
Next season.
Next season is going to be the last. Yeah. This upcoming season is going to be his last season. And if that's the case...
He can still play.
Okay, let's say it is. He wants that to be known. And he wants all of the attention to be on him. And all of the farewell tour and all of that. He wants all of the flowers thrown at him, all of the pomp and circumstance, all that good stuff. All of that attention to be on him. That's why how this is approached and not the dollar amount. It's not just, hey, here's a max deal. No, it's how this is approached, not the dollar amount, is what's going to matter to LeBron James, which is ridiculous.
From the article, this is the one that where I started to, as I was reading it, I thought to myself, oh, Lord, what are we doing here? So McMinimum, here's the paragraph. And so after explaining that LeBron wasn't happy, and so, here's the quote, and so without stopping to change clothes, James marched off into the LA night, simmering from what is another perceived slight.
He left in his uniform?
Delivered by the organization. That one source told ESPN that they're, quote, trying to push him out the door because the game ball was given to JJ Redick. And that's what I thought. What you said is exactly what I thought. You're telling me LeBron James left the stadium in his uniform like he's a kid in the YMCA? Like, come on.
Shower?
Like you go to the restaurant, you walk into the restaurant and you see all the kids in their Little League gear.
Yeah.
Like that's LeBron. He's eating, he's at dinner later that night and is full of uni because he's sad over the game ball being given to JJ Redick.
He spent the rest of the day in his soccer uniform like my 3-year-old daughter. Like, what are we doing?
This is why when people say, why do you guys hate LeBron James? Because stuff like this.
Yeah.
This is the stuff. Which NFL team has the best roster? We'll talk about that next.
This is Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Beck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Beck and Adam Abdalla.
That's right. Beck and Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, SiriusXM Channel 375, all of our great radio affiliates around the country. I'm Chris Beck along with Adam Abdalla, broadcasting live from downtown Chicago, on the air until 3 Eastern. You can join the show by calling or texting us at 310-840-4910. We're almost there, Abdalla. We're almost to a day where we will know that there are dates and football games that will be played this upcoming season. The schedule will be released tomorrow. We have our eyes on the trickling out information, the little drip drops. Yep. Yes, it sounded wet.
Easy.
It did. How could you not hear that and not, like, it sounds wet? That's what it is. We're getting little drip drops of the NFL schedule, and it will all be released tomorrow, 8 Eastern, and we will have you covered right here on Westwood One Sports as we have a special broadcast. Scott Graham and Mike Golick will break down the NFL schedule release 26 tomorrow night, Thursday night at 8 Eastern. So make sure you check that out. And we are keeping our eyes on all the information being released. I'm guessing we will get more trickle drip drops throughout the day, throughout the show, as we continue to get each little morsel of the schedule as they tease us. That's what this is. It's one giant tease.
Yeah, and if your drips continue after Thursday evening,
yes.
Please consult a doctor.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right.
And if you're allergic to Skyrizi, don't take Skyrizi.
I think well, I can tell you for sure, we're not allergic to the NFL.
Thank God.
See, and then that's the newsman. I would then turn to you and say, "What's next in sports?" Adam, one thing we're not allergic to is
the NFL.
What do you have in sports there,
And
Mr.
right now,
Abdalla?
Chris, we take a look at the most complete rosters in the NFL for the 2026 season.
Yeah, I saw this. Eric Edholm put this on NFL.com. The most complete NFL rosters. Now, when we look at the larger scope of the offseason and what has been put together by the various teams, obviously Seattle coming off the championship and their defense and the way that they played to the championship and the Super Bowl win, I would guess that many people are going to put the Seahawks towards the top of the board. Some of the other teams that come to mind, the Denver Broncos, they go out and get Jalen Waddle. They were a very good defensive team last season. I'm expecting Bo Nix to have another good season. So you have a team in the Broncos that would take another step. You'd have the Buffalo Bills. The Bills have made moves here in the offseason. The Baltimore Ravens have made moves. So when you're looking at the most complete roster, the number one team that Eric Edholm writes about on NFL.com, it is interesting to me because it's the one team that we knocked the most on draft night because of their use of their first-round pick, saying, why didn't they improve their roster on draft night? And that team is the Los Angeles Rams.
Well, yeah, they're so complete that they didn't need to use the 13th overall pick on a difference-making player in the first round. Well, they're so complete, Chris, that they drafted a player that they might not need for 2 full seasons. They drafted a player that if they lose in the playoffs, whether it's in the divisional round, whether if it's in the NFC Championship game, whether it be in the Super Bowl, that player in Ty Simpson, future quarterback for the LA Rams, will be holding a clipboard. That's what's going to happen. That's how complete this LA Rams team is. And that is maybe or maybe not why Sean McVay was so mad and visibly upset on draft night with Les Snead. He later came out the next day and said, no, we're fine. I was mad at something else.
We've got a plan.
Yeah, sure you were.
It all makes sense. Yeah,
Sure. Now, look, they come back. They're stacked, obviously. They add Trent McDuffie, so ideally they clear up any of their secondary issues and all of that because the secret was, there was no secret. You could throw on the Rams, and that is what led to that crazy NFC Championship last year against the Seattle Seahawks, back and forth between the two teams. So they shore up that position on the field. And yeah, they're still stacked offensively. They're one of the best teams, if not the best team in the NFL. They still have a great defensive line. They shore up their secondary with Trent McDuffie and Jalen Watson. And at full strength, assuming everybody stays healthy, you can say that for every single one of these teams that we're going to go through. They should be right back in the mix for a chance to go to a Super Bowl. They should be right back in the mix in the NFC Championship game. And I'm not surprised that Eric Edholm put them as the number 1 ranked team as far as most talented rosters right now.
Yeah, and when we look at the other teams, so the Rams are number 1, Seattle 2, the Eagles 3, the Ravens 4, the Bills 5, the Lions 6, Broncos 7, 49ers 8, Texans at 9, and the New England Patriots at number 10. I would say, for the most part, when we're looking at the teams that will compete for the Super Bowl, that's your group. That's the selection of teams from both conferences. I would say the one team that maybe I'm not hearing a lot of people talk about as being a team expected to take another step forward this upcoming season would be Philly.
Yeah.
Having them number 3, but I think the Lions at number 6, the Lions are going to be a Super Bowl contending team this upcoming season. They've got an easier schedule, strength of the schedule. I think the Lions, the amount of games that they lost last year that were 1-score games, I think that corrects itself this upcoming season. So I like Detroit. And then when you look at the AFC side, the usual teams that we've been talking about this entire offseason, Ravens, Bills, Broncos, those are the top 3 teams. And I agree with that. For complete rosters, I would say that those are the 3 best teams in the AFC.
For as much love as this team is getting, and a lot of people are saying they're expected to win their division, they're a Super Bowl contending team, they made a bunch of changes to a side of the ball that was lacking last season. They drafted both sides of that football with 2 first-round picks. I am surprised, maybe not because the nation is always high on this team every single year going into the season. I am surprised that the Dallas Cowboys are not in this top 10. And also surprised that the Eagles are this high, given that it is presumed. Now, I mean, obviously, as of this writing, Eric Edholm is writing what is on the current roster.
Yeah,
as of writing this, A.J. Brown is an Eagle right now.
Yeah, that's
and if
true.
you ask Howie Roseman, what's the deal with A.J. Brown, he'll tell you A.J. Brown is an Eagle right now. So as of right now, as the roster is constructed, A.J. Brown is an Eagle, and they now have A.J. Brown, Mekhi Lemon, Devontae Smith. Like, that's a pretty good 3 wide receiver set. Now, everyone assumes that when you get to the point in the calendar in a few weeks here when that money can be spread out and you can trade A.J. Brown, that he's going to be traded and presumably to the New England Patriots, which should boost them from number 10 on this list up a few spots. So that might knock down the Eagles here a little bit. They've lost a little bit on defense. They will lose A.J. Brown. They replace him with Mekhi Lemon. So I'm still surprised that the Eagles are up this high.
Yeah, so am I. I think that's where here in the offseason, the Eagles have been the team that it doesn't it feel like everyone thinks they're going to take a step back? And especially like you said with Dallas, you and I have had the conversation. We talked about it yesterday. The second game on Thanksgiving will be the Eagles at Cowboys. And I said to you, that game's going to matter for the division race.
Yeah.
I think both of those teams are going to be in contention to win the division. I really like the Cowboys this year. Mm-hmm. Now, I know that that's a tricky proposition as we head towards summer because it feels like everyone loves the Cowboys every year and they're always wrong. But I do think that the moves that they made, hopefully the defense will be competitive enough. Not top half of the league, but if they could get to 20 around there, then you have a chance to allow Dak to be who he is and to score points, and I think the Cowboys can win games. So, you know, a team that's also on the list that most complete roster, there is a team that, like, they are in a quarterback situation where if they had someone that was producing more at quarterback, I think the number where they're located at number 9, the Houston Texans, I think the Texans would be higher on the list if people trust C.J. Stroud. But they don't. People don't trust C.J. Stroud, so that's where the Texans come in at number 9.
Look, he had stretches during the regular season where he played really well. His offensive line was doing him no favors at the times where he struggled. Everybody remembers 5 picks, 5 fumbles in 2 playoff games. That's what everybody is going to remember. They don't remember the stretches during the regular season that got them to the playoffs, right? They had to get to the playoffs. He had to play well to get them to the playoffs. But the fact of the matter is, when it mattered the most, 5 fumbles, 5 picks. That's 10 turnovers.
Yep.
And with a defensive line that just got better because you drafted arguably the best defensive tackle in the draft this year, your championship level defense needs to have a better quarterback when it matters most. And if CJ Stroud and that offensive line, if that offensive line can play better and CJ Stroud can play better, not just for stretches, but for a complete season and during the playoffs, they should be higher than this. He's got weapons. He's got a better offensive line. The defense is set. I don't need to say anything about the defense. The defense is ready to go to a Super Bowl. They should have gone to a Super Bowl last year. The way everything shook out. The teams that weren't in the mix, the amount of injuries that took place during the playoffs, the Texans could have and should have been in that Super Bowl, but they weren't. Like they could have been. And so if CJ Stroud plays better this year, they could be a sneaky team that gets to the Super Bowl this year. He just has to play better because that defense could only allow like 14 points a game. They could be one of the best, if not the best defense in the league.
Yeah, and I think with CJ Stroud, it's hard to believe that he's going to be someone that just continues to backslide. You know, I understand why we've seen that with Deshaun Watson, right? Like that makes sense to why he's gone backwards as a player. But with CJ Stroud, I think that he's going to, I think he's going to find his footing. I don't think he's a great quarterback, and I don't think he's a quarterback that's going to take them to the next level. But for him to play as poorly as he did at the end of last season, I'm not sure if that's something that is going to actually continue.
If his offensive line can stay healthy and he can stay upright and he's not running around, because you saw when during the playoffs, when pressure came and he was throwing the ball, it was to the other team. That's why the fumbles happened. That's why the interceptions happened. It wasn't really poor decisions. It was poor throwing decisions, like throw the ball away as opposed to just throwing it up for grabs. So if CJ Stroud can do that, then I think the Texans can be lethal. So it just all depends on that right now. I think another team for me that we've talked about the Patriots being low, we've talked about the Texans being low. I'm surprised the Broncos are down at 7.
Yeah.
Especially the defense that they had last year, the offensive line. They had the best offensive line by whichever metric you want to go through, by most of them. They had the best offensive line in the NFL. All those guys are coming back. Assuming that Bo Nix can stay healthy throughout the entire season, he just had the ankle re-scoped and cleaned out or whatever. You add Jalen Waddle to that mix, and I think the Broncos could be higher. I would put them above the Lions right now. I don't know if I'm putting them above the Bills, maybe above the Ravens. See, I think the Eagles are too high. So I'm maybe putting all these teams above the Eagles and maybe putting the Broncos above the Lions right now.
It's Beck and Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. So that's the article, complete roster, the most complete roster in the NFL from Eric at home. He has the Rams as the number 1 team. It's now time for the Defensive Player of the Week, brought to you by Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. So Abdalla, when we go to the Defensive Player of the Week, who are we selecting this week? Brought to you by Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission.
That's a good question. Let's go with Let's go with Caden McDonald, who the Texans just drafted. Let's go with that.
All right. He fell in the draft, but the Texans scoop him up. Early second round?
Second round, yeah.
All right, so there you go. Caden McDonald will be the Defensive Player of the Week, brought to you by Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. It's Beck and Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Are you aware of a online controversy taking place right now with the National Football League and Saturday Night Live?
Oh no!
Have you seen what's going on? The latest with this the online chatter with this situation.
What happens
with SNL?
What happened?
They have their season finale. I think is coming up this weekend.
Okay.
I think that's the case. Paul
Okay.
McCartney is performing. Will
Okay.
Ferrell is hosting. Seems like an interesting mix.
All right.
Wait, like not to knock the two. They're both great in their own right, but like what are they promoting that Will Ferrell is hosting SNL?
I think that when you do a season finale for SNL, you just bring in some dudes.
Is someone retiring?
I don't know.
Like,
Is Will Ferrell retiring?
No, I'm saying is
Paul McCartney retiring?
Doesn't that feel like a Lauren Michaels step away celebration
no. That
situation?
Would be, no. You bring in some more
Okay.
heavy hitters than
All
that.
right.
It was reported that Paul McCartney turned down the original roast, and that's why they went with Kevin Hart.
Okay, all right, yeah,
So
it was okay. It
I
was
mean,
kind of funny.
I feel like Paul McCartney would have been bad.
So have you heard this online chatter to why
No.
people are upset?
No,
with
why?
SNL over this past weekend show?
No, why?
Because there was no mention of.
What happened?
Mike Vrabel and Diana Rossini.
Google search it. Search SNL Mike Vrabel.
Okay,
There
really?
are articles all over the place about a, quote, backlash of the silence
Really?
from SNL on the Mike Vrabel, Diana Rossini situation.
Mike Vrabel and Diana Rossini.
Why? What? Why would SNL? Like, I get it. Like, everyone's obsessed with the storyline and what's going on between Rossini and Vrabel, and it's something we've joked about here on the show. But I don't know if that crosses over into Saturday Night Live territory. Does everyone know this? Does everyone, like, is this like, or is this just like a weird sports guy thing that we all know this story and joke about? I don't know if this is SNL worthy.
Mike Vrabel and Diana Rossini.
See, I feel like this goes back to my point that this is not as big as we.
I mean, it's in the tabloids, so it's big.
Yeah, I get that.
But I don't know if it's big enough to spoof on SNL.
That's what I think.
Like, you have to, like, it has to be way larger than that.
Yeah.
Right?
That's my point. Okay, so if this. Do you remember the show Extra? Is that show still on?
Extra.
Yeah. Do you remember that show?
I don't think so. Rest in peace, Extra.
R.I.P. in peace, Extra.
I don't know. Is that the one with Mario Lopez? Or is that Access Hollywood?
I thought that was Access Hollywood.
One of them's gone.
Okay, Extra.
One of them is, and then the other one I think
Mario
will be
was on
done
Extra.
soon as well.
Mario was on Extra? Okay.
Mario was on
So
Extra.
Extra's still around because I think I still see Mario Lopez dancing around on the screen in the early evening.
Okay, I'm looking at Extra TV show. Yeah, okay, Extra TV show. Let's see, is it still on extratv.com? Agree. Yeah, it looks like it's still on. Or
Okay,
at least
so
they
it's
have a
the
website.
So it's the other one. I think Access Hollywood's going off the air soon.
Okay, here's my question. Is Mike Vrabel and Diana Rossini?
I don't think it's on those shows,
Okay, then it's not going to be on SNL.
but it's on TMZ.
Oh, but TMZ is different than Extra and Access Hollywood.
But they got the TV show where they're all hanging out in the newsroom. They're drinking out of their big mugs.
Isn't TMZ like an hour-long show, and it's a full website that's just constantly updating and updating? Extra's like a half-hour network
Yeah.
like show. If it's not going to make Extra or Access Hollywood, it's not making SNL.
But there are people and there are places writing that backlash to SNL not addressing. Why would SNL have to address the Vrabel Rossini thing?
I don't think it's big enough for that.
SNL has had really bad, like, they could have done it. Come on. They could have done it.
Who's playing?
They could have done
Hold
it,
on.
but
Who's playing Vrabel?
Ooh.
I don't even know who's in the cast anymore. Who's playing Vrabel?
Well, maybe get some outside
Matt Damon
casting.
was on last week. You
Okay,
could
well,
make
that's-
Matt Damon kind of look like.
Okay,
You don't think
Vrabel.
Colin could play
No,
Mike
he's
Vrabel?
the judge guy. He's
Hold on.
Yeah, Colin's on the desk.
Isn't Damon a Patriots fan?
Yeah.
So now I kind of understand the backlash.
So people are connecting dots, thinking that
Affleck,
SNL
Ben
is
Affleck.
covering for the NFL, and
Why would they- Oh,
and
because
the
of-
NFL doesn't want SNL to be joking and making fun of Mike Vrabel and Diana Rossini.
Mike Vrabel and Diana Rossini.
Whoa!
No, the NFL. I don't think the NFL cares about this story.
I think they should take our idea, and they should have a Carmen Sandiego game where there's a map and they're trying to find Vrabel and Rossini. I think that's what they should do. Come on.
I don't think it's a big enough story that people care about this. I saw that they made fun of the two internet blonde people.
Oh, the Alexes.
And I don't even think that's big enough to
Alex
make fun
Earl
of.
and Alex Cooper.
I don't even think that's big enough to make fun of.
That was from 2 weeks ago, and the joke on that was that they had to explain who they are.
Exactly.
Like that,
Oh, the
because
Call
I think
Us
you're right.
Mommy?
I think. What was that, Laura?
Is it the Call Us Mommy?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Close.
yeah. Yes.
It's that. It's that stuff. Yeah, it's that. But like the point of the joke was they had to explain who they are because I don't think everyone knows who they are.
I don't think everyone knows who Mike Vrabel and Diana Rossini are.
I think people know who Vrabel is. I think you have to be a sports fan to know that, to know in depth the Rossini side of it.
Yes.
I think that's the case.
I always think whenever they did like an Inside the NBA sketch or like a Stephen A, I was like, this is kind of niche. Like I always thought that like
you're
whenever
right.
they did that, I was like, this is kind of a stretch, guys.
Yeah, like
for SNL.
No, you're right. It is. And even though they had like Jay Farrow who could do the
anything.
The bits.
He could do anything.
It did, you're right. The sports stuff always feels like a stretch for SNL.
Yeah. Because the common viewer of SNL might not know the bit of Stephen A. Smith. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They might not understand bit of Steve. Like
I totally
everybody
agree.
knows who Barkley is.
Yeah.
But not everyone knows who Stephen A. Smith is.
It's like if they're going to do sports stuff on SNL, you have to go to the creative route and not the personality and impression route because like a perfect bit is the one about the NBA on NBC song.
Yes.
Like Round Ball Rock. Like
Yes.
that's a creative bit that's based off of sports.
Yes.
But it's not mocking someone who like you would have to watch the shows to understand Stephen A's personality or Charles Barkley's personality.
Barkley's
or
hosted, so at least that makes sense.
Yeah, and he's way more famous than just like a random talking head.
Yeah, for sure.
It's Beck and Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. LeBron James, are we buying his stock going forward? Stock Watch with Raj is coming up next.
Tomorrow night, it's a Westwood One special presentation. NFL Schedule Release 26. Hosted by Scott Graham and Mike Golick. What's your team's toughest stretch and where are the wins? We'll tell you tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern on Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Beck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Beck and Adam Abdalla.
That's right, Beck and Abdalla each and every day, broadcasting live from Chicago, downtown Chicago, hanging out with you until 3 Eastern. Each and every day, Raj Sharon produces the show from Colorado, parts unknown. And that's where we find Raj today for Stock Watch with Raj. Hello, Raj.
Hello, fellas. Thank you for finding me. Let's buy and sell some stocks today. And we're going to start with a man we spent quite a bit of time talking about earlier in the show. His feelings are hurt. Should his feelings affect his stock? Unrestricted free agent to be LeBron James. Adam A. Abdalla, are you buying or selling LeBron James?
I am going to sell LeBron James. He is never going to win another championship again. So, he's not going to the Spurs. He's not going to the Thunder. He's not going... I mean, those are the two teams that are going to be winning championships. He's not going to... I don't think he's going to Boston. So I'm going to sell. I'm selling LeBron James. LeBron James has won his last title. He is never going to win another title. Sell LeBron James.
Okay, is that what the question is?
Can you imagine if he signed for the veteran minimum with the Thunder to ring chase?
That would actually be great. Okay, so the question is whether or not he'll win another title. Are we buying it?
I am selling him because I don't think he's going to join a team that is of championship caliber, and so that's why I'm selling him. You can buy if you want to because you think he's going to win a team that might make a run, but I don't think he's ever going to win another championship, so that's why I'm selling.
Okay, so deep in the article that was posted today about LeBron James having his ego bruised because Rob Pelinka handed out a game ball to JJ Redick and not him. Could you imagine if that was your favorite player? The way that that's how they handle things? Couldn't be me. I'd say this. In the article, deep in the article, it says, in late March, ESPN Canvas, they looked at the league personnel to determine the teams that LeBron would consider as viable options and the teams that would consider that he would be a viable option. Here's the list based on information and informed opinions. Deep in the article on ESPN.com. It would be Cleveland, Golden State, New York, Denver, LA Clippers. The only team in the group that figures to have significant cap space would be the Clippers, according to ESPN's Bobby Marks. The other teams with the ability to pay James the top dollar, the Chicago Bulls and the Brooklyn Nets. Those two teams were not seen by league sources as preferred destinations for James. That was deep in the article, right? So it's like the usual suspects: Golden State, New York, Denver, Clippers. Okay. To answer your question, Raj, LeBron James buying his stock, up or down? I feel as if at this point, it's such a high stock that, you're not getting much growth out of it going forward, but you're getting a guaranteed return on your investment. If LeBron James plays, you know exactly what you're getting. He's going to be good. He's going to be somewhat healthy. He's going to put up numbers. So if you're looking for something that's steady, I would actually buy LeBron stock. I'm going to go buy.
Chris Breck.
All right. Chris Breck, owner of some LeBron James stock. Okay, this one was
saying, if my player is a player that had his ego bruised and had to leave the stadium in his uniform because he wasn't handed a game ball, and that was my best player, boy, wouldn't be me.
But now you own that stock, Black. You own that.
That's in your portfolio.
That's why I'm a Jordan fan. Back
you
to you, Raj.
Some LeBron. All right, this next one was inspired yesterday. We were trying to figure out who the Seahawks were going to open up with, and the Chargers were an option, and we just kind of sort of dismissed them. We haven't talked a lot about Justin Herbert this offseason. He's in a steamy new music video with Madison Beer. Are you buying or selling some Justin Herbert, Black?
I'm going to buy. I do think the social glow up of Justin Herbert, like who would have ever guessed that one of the hottest pop stars out there would be featuring Justin Herbert, the personality that we saw at Oregon, as like the hunk in the steamy video. Because what Raj is pointing to is that you see a lot of Justin Herbert, his face, and Madison Beer rubbing up and around his face, right? Like, isn't that how you would describe that? Raj, how would you describe what Madison Beard is doing there in the video? She's
the
she's
best
all
way I
over.
would describe it, and I can't take credit for it, but somebody else, because I saw it on Twitter, but it was, he doesn't make a cameo in the music video.
Yeah,
he
he's the
is
video.
the music video.
Yeah,
that's some petting.
Yeah, she's
some heavy petting.
She's
right there.
all over him in the video. So
out of affection.
there you go.
That's what a health teacher would call heavy petting.
Yes, there was definitely some heavy petting. I'm going to buy the Justin Herbert stock because let's take it to the next level. Can this be the year that he wins an MVP? It's my guy, Justin Herbert. On and off the field. Let's go.
I'm not worried about Madison Beer getting her hands on him. I'm more concerned with Mike McDaniel getting his hands on him. That's what I'm concerned about. And for that reason, I'm going to buy me some Justin Herbert stock. That man is a offensive wizard. And so now that he doesn't have to worry about being the head coach of a team, he can just be a weirdo about offense. So and a weirdo is, I mean it in the most loving terms possible. He is a psychopath when it comes to offense, and I'm excited for him and the new weapons that he has that the Chargers have added. And I like Justin Herbert. I think he's going to be really good in that Mike McDaniel offense, and so I like it. I'm going to buy.
Hey, Abdalla, two-part question.
Bye.
One, do you think Jim Harbaugh has seen the music video? Two, if so, what do you think his reaction was?
I think he was a key grip on the set. I think he was coaching him up through it. He was on in the earpiece. He was coaching him through it. He was there.
Oh, that's a good one. All right, next up, another name we talked about a little bit earlier in the show. One so likable. Now, not quite sure. Once featured in a Disney Plus straight-to-streaming video. Abdalla, are you buying or selling Giannis Antetokounmpo?
I'm still going to buy. I think he's still one of the best players in the NBA. I think that it shows that he wanted to still play when he came back from injury and the team wasn't going to let him. I like that the player wasn't willing to sit out. And I'm going to buy. I think that if he goes to New York, if he goes to the Warriors, if wherever he ends up, I think that team has a legit chance at some form of championship run. So I'm going to buy some Giannis Antetokounmpo stock. I like it. I think he's done in Milwaukee, but I think wherever he adds, I mean, let's say the Knicks fall short and they either are out in the Eastern Conference Finals or they are out in the actual NBA Finals and they add Giannis. Love that. Love that move. So yeah, I'm going to buy. I'm going to buy some Giannis.
I'm going to sell. The reason I'm selling on Giannis is we've seen that for how great he is athletically, the inability to shoot from the outside consistently is a easy way for teams to defend him in the playoffs. So for him to have the maximum level of success moving forward, he needs to be paired with a team with great outside shooting and with someone who can dominate the ball on their own. So the only form of offense with Giannis on the team isn't him trying to go from end to end at full gallop, running right at the rim. Because teams know that if they can pack the paint, get in front of him, they can slow him down offensively. And I think it's a major flaw for a player that's won an MVP and won a title. And so going forward, I don't think that game translates as he gets older. I think that is going to be the problem with Giannis moving forward in the NBA. So I'm going to sell on Giannis.
All right, guys, next up, earlier in the offseason, there was a bit of a Beck and Abdalla victory lap when there were reports that Travis Hunter was going to be essentially an exclusive defensive player. His GM for the Jaguars, James Gladstone, was on ESPN and asked if Hunter's days of being a two-way player are done. Here's what the GM said.
Absolutely not. No, he is set to play both sides of the ball. The piece that I think we can expect to see is actually an uptick in corner usage, right? Last year, it was a higher volume, higher percentage of wide receiver usage than it was corner. I think we can expect to see that corner percentile and count go up as we move forward. That's not to say anything impacts his availability and usage on offense. It just means that cornerback usage will increase.
All right, Bleck, so that considered, are you buying or selling two-way player with increased corner usage and presumably no decrease of receiver usage, Travis Hunter?
I'm not buying it. I'm going to sell. I think the way this comes out at the end is that in the moment when things are happening, they're going to realize that they need him out there 100% on defense. And to take away, sure, he may play a selection of plays on offense. He'll have a package or two that they can go to. I just don't see it. And for a player of his athletic abilities, wouldn't you be doing it both ways early? And then as you continue on in the NFL, you taper away from that as the years go by. So I'm still going to, I don't care what the GM said for the Jags. I'm going to still sell it.
Yeah, nothing says great plan like having your star player come back from knee injury, like having him play both ways. I'm going to sell. I don't like it. I don't think having him play, they're not going to play, I haven't played double the snaps, but I think any increase in snaps is not going to be good for him. So I think they should focus on one and have a few plays on the other side for him. So yeah, I'm going to sell. I think he's going to be a good player, but I just don't buy what the GM is selling. So I'm going to sell that.
All right, fellas, that does it for Stockwatch today.
Thank you, Raj. We appreciate you out there in parts unknown in Colorado. Oh,
easy.
I mean, it's just trickle week. It's trickle drip drop week.
Easy.
For the NFL schedule. It's Black
Anything
Abdalla. No. Black Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Save on commercial auto insurance from Progressive. Get a fast quote at progressivecommercial.com. All right, the Falcons have their off-season program, and Michael Penix was out there throwing. Will he be the starting quarterback for the Falcons this upcoming season? We talk about that situation coming up next.
Tomorrow night, it's a Westwood One special presentation. NFL Schedule Release 26. Hosted by Scott Graham and Mike Golick. What's your team's toughest stretch and where are the wins? We'll tell you tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern on Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
is Beck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Beck and Adam Abdalla.
Make sure you check out the podcast of Beck and Abdalla on Apple and on Spotify. You can also like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Beck and Abdalla Show. The live stream is up right now. You can watch the show each and every day live from Chicago on our YouTube channel, Beck and Abdalla Show. Make sure you like and subscribe. And don't forget, tomorrow night, we have the NFL schedule release. Thursday night, 8 Eastern, a Westwood One Sports special presentation. The NFL schedule release 26. Hosted by Scott Graham and Mike Golick, will announce and break down the schedule, including primetime and international games, the holiday games. Super Bowl champion Seahawks defensive lineman Leonard Williams will join the show. That's tomorrow night, 8 Eastern, right here on Westwood One Sports. We will get the full schedule release tomorrow, and we will be done with the trickle and the drip drop of information taking place throughout the week because the NFL schedule, all the announcements throughout the week, we get something new every few hours for the NFL schedule as it just trickles out all week long until we get to Thursday.
And if you wake up on Friday morning and there's still a trickle, please go see a doctor.
Okay. All right. Yep. Because if your NFL fever is due to the NFL, and you have too much NFL, stop taking Skyrizi if you're allergic to Skyrizi.
Don't take Skyrizi if you're allergic to Skyrizi.
As it trickles out. But we will get the full schedule tomorrow, 8 o'clock Eastern, and listen to the special right here on Westwood One Sports. The latest news out of Atlanta. The Falcons are holding their off-season program. Michael Penix was on the field throwing and participating. As a team spokesperson said, Penix is participating in phase 2 of the Falcons offseason program. He is recovering from tearing his left ACL, and the Falcons have posted a video on Tuesday of Penix throwing to Drake London. So there you go. He's worried that Tua Tagovailoa is going to take his gig.
Of course he is.
So there he is, out there with the fixed ACL. Michael Penix throwing to Drake London.
Well, look, I mean, there's not a single person in that facility that has any connection to Michael Penix. You bring in Ian Cunningham over from the Bears. You've got Matt Ryan, who was just hired from the TV set, obviously the former Falcons quarterback and everything. And then you've got Kevin Stefanski as the head coach who wants to win games. Look, I don't think the Falcons are going to win the division or anything, but the division is winnable, right? Like it's not, I don't think they're going to win, but it is winnable. And so you're going to go with the best quarterback available and the guy that wins the job because Stefanski has no connection to Penix whatsoever. He didn't draft him.
Yeah.
He has no connection. They brought in Tua, and they're not really paying him a lot of money because just like the Kyler Murray situation with the Minnesota Vikings, the Miami Dolphins are paying all of Tua's money. They're paying him a very little bit amount of money. So whoever proves themselves in training camp, go ahead and start. So whether it's Tua, whether it's Penix, if he's healthy, and odds are with both of those quarterbacks, whoever starts probably isn't going to last very long.
No, and I think, but it is, you look at the Falcons offense, they've got everything. They're just missing a quarterback. The Falcons are going to be a team that I think a lot of people will point to as a possible surprise team this upcoming season with Kevin Stefanski as the new head coach.
Yeah.
So new head coach bump, a team that almost made the playoffs last year. If they can just get some stable quarterback play, they should be pretty good. Like you said, though, I find it hard to believe that Michael Penix and or Tua Tagovailoa will stay healthy for a full season to give them a chance realistically to win games.
No, every team in that division, I mean, the Saints only won 6 games, but the Falcons, the Bucks, the Panthers all won 8 games. I don't know if the Falcons are going to win less than 8 games. If you get a new coach bump, does that bump you up to 9? Does that bump you up to 10? Do you stay at 8? Do the Panthers win more? Do the Bucks win more? The Saints won towards the end of the season with Tyler Shuck at QB. He was playing well at the end of the season. The Panthers got better on defense. You know, how did they look coming back and after what they went through at QB? So it's just a question mark of can Penix and can Tua stay healthy? What do they do? Can they stay healthy? And then are either QB on the roster next season?
Right. Like that's the question.
That's because there's no connection to either QB besides bringing Tua in on a flyer. Are either of them around, or is worst case scenario, and maybe even best case scenario, that the Falcons just lose a bunch of games and then they get to draft their quarterback of the future, and Matt Ryan and Ian Cunningham get to find their guy, and Stefanski gets to draft their guy in next year's draft?
It's Buck and Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. I need to ask you about this. I saw this report the other day, and man, it's surprising. Did you see that the average cost of a date in 2026 for people who are out there dating, millennials, Gen Zers, have you seen that the average cost of a date is $252? $252 is the average cost of a date.
For a date?
For a date.
What are these? One of these polyamorous? How many people are going on these? What, polyamorous? What is this, a throuple? we doing throuples? How many people are on these dates?
I had tassels on my pastry.
What do we do? How many people are you going
QVC
on a
lady.
date?
No, that's a funny line. I didn't think of it that way. You're right. This sounds like a group date.
What do we do? Two people?
$252 is the average.
The mean.
The average.
The mean.
Which would mean many people are spending way more than $250 on a date. Now, you and I mean, first of all, we've both been married for a very long time. So, like, going on a date with your spouse, it's a joint venture, right?
For
like,
sure. Yeah.
But, like, when I saw this number, the first thing I thought of was young Chris Bleck dating on the scene, having to go out and pay for all these dates, right?
$250.
Like I remember at a certain point when I was like in my 20s, thinking to myself, I had to have an intervention with myself to be like, hey, buddy, here's the deal. Taking 5 different ladies out on five different nights of the week.
Look at you, swipe master.
No. But listen, the reason why is like you're just buying meals for women for like one night.
Yeah.
Here's your dinner for the night, and then you don't talk to them again. And I had to have to talk to myself, be like, listen, let's have more of a vetting process before we commit to dinner.
Stop swiping.
Well, no, what I'm saying is like just do the drinks. Drinks is okay. But when I saw $252, if you're a single guy, who is spending that on a first date? That's insane.
That's dinner. That's a movie. That's a putt-putt afterwards. That's a mini golf afterwards.
A movie's a terrible date idea.
It's a horrible idea.
Unless you're like with someone for a very long time.
Yeah, you don't want to be going to a movie.
If you're going on a first date, you can't be going to a movie.
Where are you taking these people? Where are you taking these women?
So text the show, 310-840-4910. $252 is the average for a date.
How much you spending?
What's your cutoff? Right? Like everyone has a cutoff. Like when you plan the dinner, like what you're guessing it will be. I'm guessing for like a first date, over $200 is way too much.
That's insane.
That's what I would guess.
Unless it's 3 people.
Or 4 or 5.
Or 4.
You never know.
Saying.
Is Rabel there?
Hey, yo. In the chair.
We talk Wemby next.
This is Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Beck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Beck and Adam Abdalla.
That's right. It's Beck and Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. All of the great affiliates carrying Beck and Abdalla around the country, SiriusXM Channel 375. I'm Chris Beck along with Adam Abdalla, broadcasting live from the city of Chicago, hanging out with you until 3 Eastern, and then we'll hand it over to Jim Rome. Coming up at 3 Eastern, right here on Westwood One Sports. You can call or text the show at 310-840-4910. We're going to talk a little basketball here coming up with Victor Wembanyama and how fantastic he was last night. The Spurs go up 3-2 over the Timberwolves with their win in Game 5 last night. Just moments ago, Abdalla, we were talking about the study that was released where the average cost of a date in 2026 is $252.
No.
$252 for the average of a date in this year, which is it's insane. That's an insane price.
No.
Because like the other part that I think about is if that's the average, what are most people, what are they spending on these dates?
No.
You're spending $300, $350, $400 on a date?
Absolutely not.
So I mentioned the reason I bring this up because you can text the show at 310-840-4910. We have a texter from the 504 that says, "Are you renting your date?"
I mean,
I mean, what? Like,
I'm not going to shame you if you are. Listen,
agree.
to each their own, man.
I agree with our.
Listen.
Yes, I agree with our friend there. I mean, what? That is just my God. That is
I
expensive.
had tassels on my pasties.
Yeah, easy, QVC lady.
I'm not gonna shame you if you are whatever it is that you're doing. You know.
I mean that's wild.
Everybody's got to work, so you know. Go ahead. Make your money.
It's Black and Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. I just think like if you're a single guy, single girl, and you're going out for the first time, I mean, gender norms, usually the guy is paying for the first date, right? Like that's like how it's supposed to work.
Let's see.
Have we gotten to a point where it's splitsies on the first one?
I've been out the game for a minute, man. I've been out the game.
I'm guessing that chivalry isn't completely dead.
I've been
That's usually the way it goes, right?
I would hope that the first one would be on the person who listen, okay. On the person who asked. How about that?
Yeah, right. If you ask for the date,
the person who requested the date.
Yeah, you pay for the first date.
You pay for the first date. Right?
$252. That's nuts.
I mean, listen, we might have to throw down. We might have to credit card roulette at that point.
The old splitsies.
Especially if there's 3 or 4 of you. Listen, I'm just saying.
What are you, Hugh Hefner? You're taking a whole gaggle out?
I'm just saying it's 2026. I'm not shaming when anybody does with their lives.
Abdalla has a crew that he takes out.
I just know that I have been out of the game for a long time. Since the year of our Lord 20.
So we have a text from the 630 that says $250 for a date outside of a wedding anniversary is nuts. Now, okay, I'll say this. Over $250 for a night out is not crazy. But what I'm stunned by is that that's the average. You get what I'm saying? Like, right? Like, whatever happened to going to Chili's? Getting some margs, some unlimited chips and salsa, getting a burger, like what?
Yeah.
Like that. That to me, that's you're well under like $150 with that.
I think everyone is in a different scenario. Obviously, like couples that are married have different sets of spending than couples The 504. Otherwise, you're going to be renting that date.
It's Beck and Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. So the Spurs last night beat the Timberwolves 126-97. Game 5, they take it. They're now up in the series 3-2. Last night, Victor Wembanyama was fantastic. He is absolutely must-see television, and he is someone that I think the league is banking on becoming the next great player that leads the league for the future. I do not think that it's going to be hoping that the Thunder prevail and win back-to-back championships. I think in the idea of the league, the best case scenario would be Wemby and the Spurs beating the Thunder in the Western Conference Finals and Wemby getting a championship here early at age 22. So then they get this runway of, can this player be the greatest player ever? Right? Like that, that would be the difference between Wemby and LeBron. LeBron didn't have the success of winning a title early. And none of the all-time greats had.
Jordan?
No, but the thing is, LeBron took the Cavs to the finals very early on. And so if you could get that, if you could get Wemby into the finals, it creates this baseline knowledge that this is like one of the best players in the league.
Yeah.
Who everyone wants to watch, who's very marketable. He's worldly, right? He's not from the States. He's from France. And on top of it, he's someone that you can then kind of map out the future and say, can he win enough to be one of the all-time greats someday?
Yeah, I think that the message would be from watching Wemby so far and the way he just dominates games. And I think the Timberwolves are lucky that he got ejected in Game 4. Otherwise, this would be over. And they were lucky to win that game, because they were trailing for a lot of that game too, even after he was ejected. Yeah. Is that the message to the Thunder watching this series, because they've been sitting at home for a couple days now, is you got to win one now. You got to win back-to-back now, because as long as he stays healthy, and with guys of his stature, you have to say that, because guys of his stature, the history is they don't hold up well. The injuries come to the feet, the knees, all that kind of stuff. Now, he might be this otherworldly, literally type of guy, this alien of a player.
Freak.
He might be in the files that were just released by the government, the 150 pages. I haven't gone through them all yet.
The poor guy. He's not an alien.
He might be. Of these pages, that he might be the guy that can stay healthy and that can be in the NBA for 15 years and be the next great player that at 22, you're right, or 23 next year gets his first title, or maybe even this year. Maybe they do beat the Thunder this year and then get to the NBA Finals. Who knows? But I have a feeling that the way the Spurs operate and the way they've been able to, and it's not just him, the rest of the Spurs organization is great. The rest of the Spurs players around him are also young and are also insanely talented and have also been great around him, and they're just going to continue to grow around him the way the Thunder have continued to grow together. And I think that it's going to be the Spurs against the Thunder for a while, but I do think that Wemby can be great, and I do think that the Thunder need to get this one, because Wembanyama is going to be a problem for the league, and he could be the next guy that keeps a lot of players from this generation from winning a title, because he's the gatekeeper. The way other players we've seen, Jordan was a gatekeeper. The Warriors were gatekeepers. LeBron's been a gatekeeper. Like, the way those players have been kind of keepers of rings, Wembanyama might turn into that next guy.
So I saw this from yesterday. There's the ratings were released for last week's games in the NBA. And so last week, you had on Thursday night, it was game 2 of the Lakers and the Thunder. And the Thunder won that game. And then on Friday night, you had Spurs and Timberwolves. And that was game 2, I believe, of that series, where the Spurs went on to win that game. 115-108, and that was the game where Wemby had 39 and 15, and Anthony Edwards also had 32. Mm-hmm. So that was a good game, game 2. So both game 2s. The numbers for Friday night on Prime Video with the T-Wolves and the Spurs, that was the most watched NBA game that Prime Video has ever had. And so the context around that is that game also on Prime Video outdrew the game on Thursday with the best team in the league in the Thunder and LeBron James as the opponent in game 2. So, this wasn't game 4 where it was already said and done that the Lakers were going to get swept, right? Like where the ticket sales going into the crypt for that final game, that they were low and the easiest ticket you could get in Lakers playoff basketball history in years.
Yeah.
Because everyone knew that the Thunder were going to win. This was when it was, still thought, like you and I didn't think that the Lakers would compete with the Thunder, but it wasn't as lopsided as it turned out to be.
Yeah.
And so I guess the thing to point out there is it is very obvious early on here that Wembanyama is the number 1 ticket in the NBA. And it's not just basketball fans who are interested. It's not just casual. It's not just the diehard sports fan. It's the casual sports fan is invested and interested in seeing, as you listed, a guy that looks like an alien or a freak out there playing great basketball.
Complimentary,
He looks like a freak.
Yeah,
and I say it in the most complimentary fashion that he's got sick handles for a guy who's like 7'6" and still growing. He can block any shot around the rim. He can run. Like that's the thing is like compare him to guys in the 90s who were that tall, like Sean Bradley or George Mirasan. They couldn't run. They couldn't get up and down the court. Wemby can get up and down the court. He can shoot. He can shoot from 3. He's got the fadeaway J. He made that move last night where he's in the lane. He takes the ball, he fakes it, and then dishes it off underneath the basket for a dunk. I think it was Champagny who was there who got it, the layup or the dunk right there under the basket. So, I guess the reason I bring that up is it is very obvious to me the way this is playing out that Wembanyama is the number 1 face of the league already, and he has yet to win anything.
Yeah.
And they have a chance to win here in the finals, but they haven't. He hasn't won, and people are interested, people are watching, and the numbers and the ratings clearly show that.
Yeah, and I think that it's going to continue to grow with this team because they're young, they're fun. He's not someone that is a player that you root against because, SGA is a young player, but he's someone that fans, I think, root against because of the style of basketball that he plays, throwing himself into other players, being a free throw merchant, the way that Chet Holmgren plays and throwing himself into players and foul chasing and all that kind of stuff. Wemby doesn't do any of that. He plays good basketball, and he plays good defensive basketball too. He's good on both sides of the floor. And because of that, everybody wants to watch. And he's must-see TV. And look, I know he didn't play a lot of minutes in the regular season, but he played in a lot of games. They didn't hold him out a lot of games. He just didn't play a lot of minutes in those games.
He played 29 minutes a night.
Yeah.
And he barely made the threshold of availability for the postseason awards. But he was there. And so, it was fun to watch. And I agree with you. I think the Spurs are definitely the sweethearts that America is rooting for to beat the Thunder in the next round. And we'll keep our eyes on that as well. It's Beck and Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. A text from the 401, and you can text us at 310-840-4910. He wants to point out, they want to point out that Magic won early at age 20 in 1980, coming right out of college from Michigan State. And at the time, Magic was considered also a freak, playing point guard at 6'9". Yeah, it's a great point.
That is.
Totally agree.
It's a good comp.
And the setup there, right, is if you enter the league and win immediately, you now have a chance to write your ticket as one of the all-time greats.
Yeah.
There's no guarantee that you do it, but that's how you get started, is in the first couple of years, if you become a champion, now you got like 15 more of these in front of you, if health allows it, and that's how Magic Johnson early with the Lakers, he immediately won.
Yeah, and look, I'm not counting them out of beating the Thunder this year. We saw the Pacers took the Thunder to Game 7 last year. Why can't the Spurs take the Thunder to Game 2 and make this a series? I think that it is imperative that the Spurs win on Friday. I don't think that you can go 7 games and then try to turn around and compete in another 7-game series. Like, you got to end this, get your rest in, and then start the next series. Like, it's going to be tough for you to go a full 7 games and then start right away.
Black and Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. If I asked you, heading into this upcoming NFL season, which team has the worst quarterback room in the NFL? A couple teams come to mind. We will tell you who the worst quarterback room is coming up next.
Tomorrow night, it's a Westwood One special presentation. NFL Schedule Release 26. Hosted by Scott Graham and Mike Golick. What's your team's toughest stretch and where are the wins? We'll tell you tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern on Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will be in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
Is Beck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Beck and Adam Abdalla.
That's right, Beck and Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app, hanging out with you until 3 Eastern here on Westwood One Sports. Don't forget, tomorrow night, the NFL schedule will finally be released. Yes! You know, this week here on the Beck and Abdalla show, we call it the trickle out week. A little trickle drip drop week. That's what we have here for the NFL schedule. Each and every day we get something else that just trickles out with the schedule. Today we got the full slate of international games. We'll go over that in a second. Abdalla, I do want to mention this. On Thursday night, 8 Eastern, Westwood One Sports, special presentation, the NFL Schedule Release 26, hosted by Scott Graham and Mike Golick, will announce and break down the schedule, including primetime, international, and holiday games. Super Bowl champion Seahawk defensive lineman Leonard Williams will join the show. That's Thursday, tomorrow night at 8 Eastern, right here on Westwood One Sports. This article comes to us from CBS Sports. Which team has the worst quarterback room in the NFL? And if you look around at the league, at the different quarterback situations, there are two teams that immediately jump to mind that we don't know what they're going to do for their quarterback for the future. I think ideally is that they're bad this year, at least one of them, and they select a quarterback this upcoming season. There's a couple other spots where there's young guys kind of battling for position. Mm-hmm. There's an albatross of a contract and money being guaranteed to one player in a certain situation where there's really not a lot of clarity on who the quarterback will be in that spot. And then there's the mystery of Aaron Rodgers. And will Aaron Rodgers play this year? And when will he tell the Pittsburgh Steelers? And is he in Pittsburgh? Is he not in Pittsburgh? Do we know? So here are the teams on the list. Worst quarterback rooms entering 2026 from CBS Sports. The Cleveland Browns, the New York Jets, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Arizona Cardinals, and the team that we were talking about like 30 minutes ago, the Atlanta Falcons. Those are the teams on the list.
All very reasonable choices. The Cleveland Browns, obviously, if you're paying Deshaun Watson, you might as well see what he's got. There's no reason to release him,
I guess.
So I was just trying to get a sweet haircut.
And there's your guy, Todd Monken, with the sweet haircut.
No, don't do that to me. Don't put that hate on me.
So I was just trying to get a sweet haircut.
Don't put that hate on me.
You're a big haircut guy.
Nope. I'm not the one with Lego-style hair that I snap on every day. That's you.
That's a shot.
How is it a shot? Your hair's perfect every day.
I just do it every day. It takes 2
your
seconds.
Hair's perfect every day. It looks like you put on until you just snap it on.
Wow.
So I was just trying to get a sweet haircut.
I just want to be like Todd Monken with a sweet haircut, man.
There you go. The Jets.
I didn't know you were anti-haircut.
The Jets, Geno Smith, Cade Klubnik, Brady Cook. I think that they're just going to go with.
Yikes.
Yeah, and March for Arch. March for Arch is on. I think after the draft, it was said by an executive, yeah, they've got everything. They've got great weapons. They've got a great defense. They've got everything but a great play caller and a great quarterback.
Yep, that's it. They've got everything. Yep, except that.
Yeah.
Except the head coach.
Yeah.
a play caller, and a quarterback. Yeah, they've got all the makings. Yeah. All the makings for a team that could have a run.
Now, the Pittsburgh Steelers, while they may have a good quarterback school, is led by head instructor and head coach Mike McCarthy.
Right.
The students,
not so great.
Not so great.
Yeah.
Drew Aller, Will Howard, Mason Rudolph, and Aaron Rodgers.
Maybe.
Are you there? Hello.
We don't know.
Hello.
He was supposed to be in Pittsburgh. Maybe he's in Pittsburgh.
You there?
Maybe he's not.
You there? And the Arizona Cardinals, I mean, we know they're trying to be bad. Just admittedly, just being like, nah, bro. Jacoby Brissett, Minshew, Beck, whoever.
Beck.
Whatever.
Hey, Carson Beck said last week that his arm feels the best it's felt in years.
I'm sure it does.
Yeah, he's ready.
Ready to throw the ball to the other team.
Carson Beck, baby. He's going to hurl that football.
I'm sure he will.
Straight down the field.
Straight down to the other team.
Why punt when you got Carson Beck who can just throw it 45 yards downfield for an interception?
An arm punt. And then, we just talked about the Atlanta Falcons with Penix and Tua and how nobody in the organization is actually tied to either player. I mean, this organization did bring in Tua, but on a minimum deal with no real connections to it. And if he works out, cool. And if not, you just let them go. And then worst case scenario, you're bad. And then Stefanski and Matt Ryan and Ian Cunningham get to draft their quarterback of the future in next year's draft. So to them, it's really win-win.
I don't think there's a team missing. I don't think there's anyone missing from this list. Those are the worst quarterback rooms in the NFL. Cleveland, New York Jets, Pittsburgh, Arizona, Atlanta.
Yeah.
By far. That's got to be it.
I agree.
Do you want to give a bonus, a little side deal action to Minnesota?
No. I don't think
trusting
Minnesota's,
that Kyler Murray's going to work out that well.
Well, here's the problem: they won a decent amount of games with J.J. McCarthy.
But couldn't you argue that quarterback room
Max
isn't great just because there's going to be friction and competition?
They won 9 games with J.J. McCarthy and Max Brosmer last year, so I can't really say that it's bad. I was gonna say the Dolphins.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Like Malik Willis,
pretty bad.
Could be awesome.
No, he's not.
Or he could be.
He's not going to be awesome.
Horrible. And then what? You've got Quinn Ewers.
He's not going to be awesome.
So
you know that's a fact. That's true.
Okay.
And I'll admit if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I just don't see that one.
All right. So I mean, look, the Dolphins are much worse off than the Vikings are.
So that's the article on CBSSports.com. The worst quarterback rooms in the NFL. Chris Black, Adam Abdalla hanging out with you. If you want to text the show, you can do it at 310-840-4910. I feel bad for our guy Albert in New Orleans. He texts the show from the 504. This is what he texted us. We were talking about the average date. Now, the cost of an average date is $252.
Oh, yeah.
This is what Albert from New Orleans texts the show. You haven't seen the list of places nowadays a person doesn't want to go on a first date. $252 at minimum is expected now. Unfortunately, romance is dead.
Whoa, Albert.
Poor Albert.
Albert.
Romance is dead.
Oh.
Could you imagine you meet someone and, hey, I've got this night planned. Let's go here.
Mm-hmm.
And then her response, sorry, I'm good. No, thanks.
Well, I believe this was a few years ago that women have come out with a list of places you can't take them on a first date. This went viral about 2 years ago.
Okay, places you can't take a woman on a first date.
And this was obviously panned. Like, this was ripped apart.
All right, let me guess. Number 1 on the list, Monster Truck Rally.
No. These are restaurants.
Oh.
These are restaurants.
I thought I was just gonna list off all of the like super macho nerd events.
No. These are restaurants.
Restaurants. Okay.
Yeah. The first one's one of your favorites. You mentioned it.
Chili's?
Cheesecake Factory.
Cheesecake Factory. Love Cheesecake
Factory. Applebee's, Chili's, Chipotle, Olive Garden.
Okay.
A movie.
Hold on.
A movie.
Hold on. Who is taking a date to Chipotle?
I don't know. People, man. You got to get maybe you spring for double meat. And then maybe later you spring for double meat.
Okay, all right.
The large male.
Pardon the expression there.
A
God.
movie, your house, any fast food chain,
Your house?
Buffalo Wild Wings, Wingstop, Red Lobster,
Your house?
a buffet, IHOP, Denny's, the gym, church, Starbucks, coffee dates, ice cream dates, family function, a movie night, somewhere that requires a long drive, which would
any place
would be creepy.
You're just saying any place.
Bowling, nightclubs, hookah bar. Come on, man. We can't take a girl out for shisha anymore. A bar just for drinks, Waffle House, and sporting events.
Wait, you just listed off every single option. So what do they want?
The library?
From that list,
I don't know,
you
man.
gave every single option.
Yeah, they want like a Michelin star restaurant.
I had tassels on my pasties.
Easy, QVC lady.
They want a Michelin star restaurant is what women want apparently. According to this post that went viral a couple of years ago.
I mean, some are you can't take a date to some of that, but otherwise it's like, okay, you can't go to a sporting event. It's baseball season. A baseball game's a great date.
I don't know, man.
What's wrong with a baseball game? A hot summer night? It's Americana, dude. What's wrong with you? That's right. Laura's in on that.
Here's
Dodger Stadium. Let's go.
My one rule. We
live in Chicago. We have two options. You can go to the north or the south side.
I have one piece of advice. If you are going to take your date to a baseball game for your date, do not, under any circumstance, keep score.
Oh, I thought you were going to say bring your glove.
That too. Well, I mean, listen, always use protection. But do not keep score. Don't do it. Don't be that guy. Do that with your buds or on your own. Keep the scorebook at home.
Have you ever seen someone do that on a date?
No comment.
Oh, you have. Interesting. Interesting. You've seen someone do that on a date. How'd it go?
I mean, I think he ended up marrying her, so.
Okay, so it worked.
It worked.
So there it is.
I think he's fine.
So there it is. All right. Well, okay. That's Abdalla's tip. If you're going to a baseball game this summer as a date, do not keep score and don't bring your mitt.
No, I
But
told
also
you to use
protection.
protection. Yeah, use
yes.
protection.
Okay. All right. And move the runner if you get a chance.
Move the runner.
Lay down
We're
that
off the
bunt
rails.
and move the runner.
Lay down that bunt and move the runner.
Raj, off the rails. We're talking baseball.
Yeah.
It's America's pastime.
We're hitting triples and home runs here, man. Come on. There's only 3 possible outcomes in baseball anymore.
I mean, just concern yourself with your exit velo. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Launch angle, exit velo. That's all you need.
Hey, I would say if you're looking for a date idea, I did some research. You can rent a private boat for a half day in Putnam County, Tennessee. Who would have ever done that for approximately $240?
All right.
Wait, hold on. It was less expensive than the average date? $252?
Yeah.
To rent that boat?
Well, that's the
Yes.
average.
It was
yeah,
$240?
240.
Mike Vrabel and Diana Rossini.
Jeez. Wait, that's pretty
And I mean, that was a
convenient.
couple years ago. So, I mean, it may be less. That's just the estimate what it would be now.
Well, it was 3 hours that they were out there on the water on the high seas.
Yeah, that's less than $100 an hour.
It's SEA too for those who are wondering with the water.
Yeah.
So that's the case. It was only $240.
That ain't bad.
It's pretty good. Mm-hmm. Was there food? Was there a
I think
lunch?
you got to bring your own.
Was there a lunch service, Raj, on that boat?
You got to bring your own
I
picnic
think
basket.
you got to picnic it. Yeah, I think Abdalla's right here. Picnic baskets,
No sandwiches.
No,
nothing?
you got to bring your own wine and cheese.
No, okay, yeah, all right. I guess that would be less than $252. The
Finger
average.
sandwiches.
Oh,
It is finger locking gate.
Oh my gosh.
The large male.
No, I know what you're doing there. I'm aware.
Mike Vrabel and Diana Rossini.
I did want to update the NFL schedule that we have to this point. You know, tomorrow we will get the full schedule, but throughout the week we've got little drip drops, little trickle coming out of the NFL schedule. And when we look, what we had today was the announcement of the international package It's a nice package of international games that the NFL has released. Here we go.
We're going to kill Raj.
What do you mean?
You too. He said it before I said it.
Because we could hear you breathe. We could hear you sigh into the mic from Denver, Colorado, from parts unknown in Colorado Springs. We heard the sigh. He said package. I'm referring to the football, guys.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah,
international
you said
games.
it, and then Abdalla had a reaction after you said it.
International games. 49ers, Rams get started in Australia.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the week 1. Week 3, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. You have the Baltimore Ravens and the Dallas Cowboys. Week 4 through 6, we focus our attention on London, England. That's where there will be 3 straight games from London. That will be the Colts and the Commanders, the Eagles and the Jags. The Jags will stay, and they will then play the Texans in that final week in London. We then focus on week 7, France, Paris, Steelers, and Saints. Spain will host in week 9 the Falcons and the Bengals. Week 10 will feature Germany with the Lions and the Patriots. And then the international part of the schedule for the NFL this upcoming season will end in Mexico City in week 11, the 49ers and the Vikings. So the 49ers get the double dip, week 1 and week 11 in the international schedule.
At least the Jaguars get to stay over there. The 49ers have to go to Melbourne and then have to go all the way. They come back and then what? 10 weeks later, go to Mexico City. They also have to go to Atlanta. They have to go to New York. The 49ers are getting screwed this year by the travel.
That's what it looks like. It really does. And they will be the team that travels the most in this upcoming season.
Yeah, they're traveling over 38,000 miles. The Rams are also traveling a lot. They're traveling about 34,000 miles, but it's obvious. They're the 2 teams that are going to Melbourne. Yeah. So that's obvious why they're traveling the most.
A lot of trickle and drip drops coming out for the NFL schedule. Tomorrow, 8 Eastern on Thursday night, we will have the full release of the NFL schedule. Westwood One Sports special presentation, the NFL schedule release 26, hosted by Scott Graham and Mike Golick. We'll announce and break down the schedule, including the prime time, the international, and the holiday games. Super Bowl champion Seahawks defensive lineman Leonard Williams will join the show tomorrow night. That's Thursday, 8 Eastern, right here on Westwood One Sports. So there you go, Abdalla. It's trickling out, drip by drip.
Yep, we'll get the full schedule tomorrow. And if you wake up on Friday and there's still a trickle, please go see your doctor.
Easy. Whoa. It's like the ads, right? Go see your doctor if you're allergic to the product that you are purchasing
should
take.
Should be a hot show, but if it burns, also go see a doctor.
Easy. It's the NFL. That's right. LeBron James is sad that a game ball was given to J.J. Redick. That's right. That's the story on ESPN.com today. We'll fill you in with the details coming up next.
Tomorrow night, it's a Westwood One special presentation. NFL Schedule Release 26. Hosted by Scott Graham and Mike Golick. What's your team's toughest stretch and where are the wins? We'll tell you tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern on Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
Cause you had a bad day, you take one down, you sing a sad song just to turn it around. You say you don't know, you tell me don't lie, you work at a smile and you go for a ride. You had a bad day.
It's Beck and Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Make sure you check out the podcast, Apple and Spotify, and also like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Beck and Abdalla Show. Thank you to Raj and to Laura for producing today's show, Beck and Abdalla. Coming up next here on Westwood One Sports, Jim Rome will join you in about 15 minutes right here on Westwood One Sports. Yeah, did you have a bad day? So here's the situation. Not only were the Lakers eliminated the other night, now they don't know the future of how they're going to handle their roster, but also whether or not LeBron James will be with the Lakers moving forward or if he will become a free agent. Rob Pelinka spoke to the media yesterday. This is what Pelinka had to say about wanting to honor LeBron James.
In terms of LeBron, we probably haven't seen a player that has honored the game to the extent that he's honored the game. He's given so much to his teammates, to this organization. And the thing we want to do more than anything else is honor him back. And I think the first order of business there is allowing him to spend the time he needs to decide what his next step are. Does he want to play another year in the NBA? And that'll be, as he said to you guys last night, family time, I think time with his inner circle. And we just want to honor that for him. Of course, any team, including ours, would love to have LeBron James on their roster. That's a blessing in itself, just with what he does.
Yeah, but what price? At what price, Rob Pelinka, would you want LeBron James on the team? It's Beck and Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports, sponsored by Progressive Insurance, protecting your business vehicles 24/7. See if you can save at progressivecommercial.com. The reason I say that is earlier today on ESPN.com, there's a new article posted by Dave McMiniman, and here's the headline of the article: What LeBron needs to return to LA and why it's not that simple. And the article essentially starts, Abdalla, with painting the picture of a post-locker room scene after the Lakers just won a game in March. And so they had a win where they won 127-113 over the Cavs. And in that win, there were a couple milestones that were notched by those who participate on the team. LeBron in that game became the all-time leader in NBA history with the most victories. 1,229. LeBron, with that win, passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for the most wins, combined regular season and playoffs in NBA history. So that's one. Luka Doncic topped 15,000 career points. All right. Yeah, cool. Big deal. Rui Hachimura passed 5,000 points scored. And J.J. Redick won his 100th game as a head coach. And the reason all of those items are in the story is because in the postgame locker room, J.J. Redick announced and celebrated those players for those accomplishments. And Rob Pelinka, who you just heard from, saying that they want to honor LeBron James, was standing in the locker room with a game ball. And I can't keep a straight face without laughing about this. And LeBron thought the game ball was going to be for him. And when Rob Pelinka walked up and handed and celebrated J.J. Redick for getting his 100th win as a head coach in the NBA, and LeBron didn't get a game ball, LeBron got sad, and his ego was hurt over it. And that's here in the story. Sources say that he was upset that J.J. Redick was honored and celebrated, and he wasn't by Pelinka, and that his sources think that that was just another way for them to try and push him out the door. You can't make this stuff up. LeBron James, sad because he didn't get a game ball after a game where they won because he passed Kareem as most wins in NBA history. First of all, I didn't know, as a diehard NBA fan and basketball fan and sports fan, I didn't know we were counting and combining playoff and regular season wins.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
That's not something, when it happened the night of, like, that was like the other goofy thing from LeBron this year. Remember when he had to have the little patch?
Yeah.
On the jersey?
His own patch?
He had to have a night where he had the patch on the jersey?
Weird.
Was that the same night?
I think it was the night after he broke the record, yeah.
How
Weird.
pathetic. So in the column, it points out that after that event happened, LeBron didn't change clothes, and he left, quote, he marched off into the LA night, simmering from what he is perceiving as another slight from the organization to, quote, try and push him out the door.
So he left in his uniform?
What the hell?
Did he have to bring his dirty uniform back the next day to, like, have them wash it? Or
I'm going home. I didn't get a trophy at the end.
Ridiculous.
Holy cow, man.
Ridiculous.
Like if he thought that putting this PR nonsense into the media, because, you know, it's obviously coming from his camp.
Yeah.
You know, they're using ESPN to get this out there that this is why he's going to leave, is because they're slighting him. Someone should let LeBron know that this is not going to make the public think that you're in the right. It makes you look like a loser. It really does. Like, Are you serious? You're sad sacked and you're going home in your uni because you didn't get a game ball and J.J. Redick did after a night that you guys won? Like, you cannot make this stuff up.
Imagine
and for anyone, if LeBron James is your guy, if you're a LeBron James lover, boy, this is a tough look.
Imagine pulling up next to LeBron on the street as he's driving home. Even if he doesn't drive himself, or if he does drive himself.
He's sitting in his uniform.
And he's sitting there in his
beautiful
uniform.
Lakers uniform.
Also, what happened to Bronny? Was Bronny did he leave Bronny there? What if Bronny was in the shower? Did Bronny have to Uber home?
No,
or do they take separate cars?
Isn't the whole story out there in LA that they when they're in the facility or around the team, they're teammates and
take
that they're
separate
not,
cars?
It's not father son. So they come and go as they're separate individuals.
That's just a waste of energy. That's just a waste of resources. You don't carpool?
Listen, the entire story is ridiculous. There were the reports from ESPN and Ramona Shelburne last year about how LeBron was upset that the Lakers are now catering to Luka. This is all an ego play for LeBron.
Yeah.
He wants the Lakers to cater to him, but they're no longer doing that, even though his son is on the team and his son can't play.
Yeah.
Wait, what more do you want them to do? They gave him a charity spot on the end of the bench. A kid that can't play in the league only because he's your son. And so it's now time for the Lakers to move on. And sure, Pelinka's not wrong with what he said to the media yesterday. Every team would love to have LeBron, but you're not going to pay $53 million a year for LeBron anymore. You're just not.
And the story also said it's not about the money for LeBron. It's how the Lakers approach him and offer him the money. Like they have to bend the knee or something like that. Like this is Game of Thrones. This is ridiculous.
Well, he was upset last year that they took Luka to a wine dinner. Like that's like, this is how fragile of an ego he has. And that's why when you look at just like the overall part of his career, it's like on the court, he accomplishes great things, but he is just really annoying to pay attention to as far as like an athlete goes.
Is he upset that they didn't spend $250 on the date?
Yeah. He wanted they tried to take him to somewhere that it was less expensive. That's why
they took Luka to a $250 wine dinner. They took him and only cost $100.
He was upset that he didn't get a game ball and JJ Redick did, and so now he's having his people tell the media that this is the case, and that's why they're slighting him.
That's insane.
Could you imagine Jordan doing that?
No,
of course not. That's why he's always the greatest and better than LeBron. And that's how we'll leave it here on a Wednesday. Jim Rome and the Jim Rome Show's coming up next right here on Westwood One Sports.
This is Westwood One Sports.